Thanks for staying with us. Now, the anti-corruption war of President Bola Tinubu has continued to gain momentum with the recent scandal in the Ministry, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Investigations are ongoing at the Economic and Financial Crime Commission over the alleged 585 million naira transferred into a private account by the suspended minister, Betta, and the suspended coordinator of NSIPA over alleged 17 billion naira scandal, as well as the alleged 44 billion naira fraud of the former minister, Sadiya Umar Farouk. The president has appealed to Nigerians to be patient as a thorough investigation will be done and made public. Now, joining me to examine the alleged scandal in the Humanitarian Ministry is Public Affairs Analyst Obajide Ilugbo. Thanks for joining us on TVC News at this hour.
Good afternoon.
Yes, let's quickly have your thoughts or your assessments on the suspended minister, Betta Edu, talking about the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's anti-corruption fight and the process. What's your assessment of the process of the anti-corruption fight by the president?
Well, my first take, good afternoon, everybody. My first take is that the step that the president has taken so far is appropriate. It shows courage. It shows commitment. It did not promise anti-corruption war, like somebody pointed out. But by and large, he has acted in the right direction. So that's fine. But coming to the issue that we have that is disturbing us, I have looked at the information that are available from credible sources, and I came to a conclusion on which I wrote in an article piece which I shared on my handles a week or two ago, that Betta Edu is not a criminal. And I have my reasons for saying so. It's obvious from all the indications that what is on ground there is a war that is not yet known to us. But about the issue that has thrown dust into the air, about this 585 million naira, there is no criminal act on the part of the minister. And as the president has given instruction that EFCC should investigate, I think also the president should not leave this thing to EFCC alone. He himself, having gone through this rope of administration, I mean, for crying out loud, he was governor of Lagos State. He understands the way things work in public service. And he understands when an officer is performing or seeking to perform and comes to an office. I'm not PRO to Betta Edu. I've never met her before. I've never spoken to her before. But as a public analyst, as somebody who has been in administration myself, I see a lot of things in here that are taken for question. Betta Edu is not a criminal. To start with, the first news that came out was that Betta Edu paid money into her account. It has come out clear that the money was not paid into her account, private account, but not Betta Edu's account. That is a fact. The other fact here is that that account belongs to the project accountant for the state that money was meant for. So there was a process that some money was supposed to be disbursed in Calabar, I guess, in the state in that side, and the project officer received the money. I have done some little homework here. In the chapter 14 of 2014 financial regulations guiding on MDAs, this is across board, MDAs. It says that in the disbursement of funds for non-personal projects, special programs, the leader of the project or special program shall be the accounting officer and shall approve all payments, while an accountant of an appropriate grade shall be attached to each project, special programs, and have responsibility for the disbursement as well as retirement of the non-personal advances. Now, from my investigation, MDAs do not run commercial accounts, commercial bank accounts. Their account is with CBN. Okay, so this money was released by CBN into that particular account. For CBN to have approved the release of that money, there must have been a template by which they work. And I'll show you the template. Yes, the Financial Act actually speaks expressly that payment should not be made into private account. But in the circumstance, in the operation of MDA so far, we're looking at a fundamental issue here that goes beyond Betta Edu being the minister. We're looking at something that has been ongoing before she came and across all ministries, all the other MDAs. They receive money, and when the money has to go to such projects are paid into personal funds. For that not to be so, that accountant will have had to go and register a company in a name. I mean, a registered company.
All right, Mr. Ilugbo, sorry to interject. Well, the president has called for patience from Nigerians. Of course, investigations are still ongoing, you know, and he has promised to make the outcome of the investigation public for all to see.
Yes.
Now, what would you say is your overview of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's anti-corruption war? Now, the question is going to be in two parts. And I'm bringing to mind the case of Godwin Emefiele and, of course, the former minister Sadiq Umar Farouk and others. How would you assess the president's anti-corruption war?
I said it from the beginning that it is amazing that the president did not promise he was going to fight corruption. But we see him taking steps. Of course, the Emefiele one is very clear and loud. Everybody in Nigeria felt the impact of Emefiele's thing. You know, it's awesome. The way the strides are very, very encouraging. We only pray that it will result in the revamping of the economy. But please don't let me lose my thought on something that I think is very critical we should look at. From administrative point of view, I believe that fundamental errors have been committed in the Ministry of Humanitarian Services. And what is this error? You have a sitting prime minister on seat, incumbent. Another person has access to the ministry's account and had the effrontery to go and move money from one account to the other. I'm asking a question. So what happens when, in the era when there was no minister appointed? So that means the ministry's account is not foolproof. Anybody can just go and move money. That is undermining. That act undermines the office of the minister. That should not be encouraged at all or applauded. And besides, staff of ministry are now different ministers' files and sending out sensitive documents like the issue of flight tickets to Kogi. Please, I know that we have ASCON in Nigeria, which is a platform where they train civil servants. I don't think that is ethical. And I also believe in the process that threw this thing to limelight, the protocol for what they call the whistleblowing does not go in the direction of the excuse that somebody is claiming that when she saw that minister was moving money and was going to continue to move money, I now went to move money without minister's approval. Now, officers in the ministry are releasing sensitive documents. The Freedom of Information Bill does not support that. I'm looking at we not creating a template that will come and consume us tomorrow. Before you know it, the president receipt of toilet roll that he bought, somebody will just take it and publish it. If it is a journalist that made an inquiry for this through FOI and got it, it's fantastic. But for career officers to begin to release sensitive documents without approval, illegally, it is wrong. Whoever Betta Edu has offended, whatever the issue is, whether it is within party or outside party, but if you really ask me,
right,
Betta Edu is a young minister that is being vilified by civil servants who feel that she's not playing the ball away. That's my take on
right.
We'll leave everything
we may have to leave it there.
We
may have to leave it there for now. Our public affairs analyst, Olajide Ilugbo, sharing his thoughts with us on the alleged scandal in the humanitarian ministry. Thanks for your time with us.
My pleasure.
Moving on, wife of the governor of Niger State, Fatima Bago, has called on key players to plan solutions that will address the growing cases of rape and sexual abuse in North